Would you like to make a couple extra nucs for free or very, very little cost? Stay tuned for more information. Hi everyone, welcome to Honeybee Gardens YouTube channel. Glad to have you back. Today we're going to talk about getting started slowly making nucs, kind of maybe go into some equipment and what have you. I'd like to reiterate again, this really is not intended for the beginner beekeeper, although a beginner beekeeper could use these methods to increase your apiary. So without further ado, here we go. First I'm going to introduce a couple of the low-cost ways to utilize nucs into your apiary. The first one, which is my personal favorite, is the Jester Easy Nuc. We just got a bunch of rain, so water may be coming out of this thing, but it's just a corrugated plastic nuc box. It's pretty well ventilated. However, here in the south, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, I don't like using these very much once July gets here. It just gets really, really hot, and the bees seem to want to just hang out in the front here. But on with that. Very easy to close. If your customer calls you up, wants to come pick up a nuc, say I'm coming at 8 o'clock in the morning, you can go out easily before the sun comes up. See if I can get it in here. Push the tab in. Boom. That tab is now locked in. The bees are in. I generally put rubber bands here just to keep it from coming open. And to open it, you just take your hive tool and just pry it in there and pull it out. Like when you get to your new spot. And you just fold it out, and there you go. The bees got their new entrance. I did not get that on camera, but you get the point. So I'll try to do it on there again. Just stick your hive tool here. Just do a little pry. There you go, there's the entrance. This box is at least 1 year old, at minimum 1 year old. I started using these 2 years ago. So there you go, Jester Easy Nuc. And last time I checked on prices, they were running about $12 to $13. Another good trick you can do with these, put your thumbtack in here and that'll stick to the frame. And that'll kind of help hold it. But like I said, I use rubber bands. We get a lot of wind here, so I use rubber bands to help hold the tops down. And then just a plain old simple nuc box right here. If you wanted to do kind of like what Barnyard Bees is doing, he's using 2-frame nucs. Those don't overwinter very good where I'm at, so I don't really bother with them. If I do anything, I'll just take a 5-frame box, put this feeder in here, which takes the space of 2 frames, and then you got a 3-frame box. That way all my stuff is standard. I use either 5-frame or 8-frame. I don't have any 10-frame or nothing else, just 5-frame and 8-frame. You could also get plans off the internet. I cannot remember the guy's name, where I think for a sheet of plywood you can get 4 complete nuc boxes. For 1 sheet of plywood, you can cut all of it with a skill saw. Very, very easy. And you'll need you're definitely going to need some way to feed your bees. But it's just a hive, Fat Bee Man hive top feeder. Very simple. Like I said, I started out using these. The only problem I had with these is the bottoms tend to rot out. The bottoms don't last very long. So I just got. These right here, you can build one of these, I think it was around $4 or $5, but the time to make these bee ladders, it's just very time consuming. That's why I got to using the in-frame feeders. You can buy these for $9, ship them to you, and then you just put them in. There's no maintenance to them other than, clean them out with some vinegar water or maybe some bleach water every now and then. I'm also going to hit on overwinter nucs because that's where you'll have better success, is being the first person to market in the spring with your bees. That's why I try to overwinter as many as I can and start selling mine at the end of February. whenever I start, just bringing them in. But this right here, I don't know if you can see this. This 5-frame on the bottom board, 2 deep. These overwinter so well. These overwinter just about anywhere. Michael Palmer does 3 high of 4 frames. So, and he's in Vermont, so I know this works just about everywhere. As long as you keep the bees fed and they got plenty of stores, they're gonna be fine. Okay, so you want to get nucs at almost no cost, with the exception of maybe your feed. Buy a nuke from someone. Try to find somebody that's selling them for $125 to $140. There's always somebody on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or somewhere that's selling bees under market price. I would try to buy one of those as long as they're good bees. Bring them to your apiary. Stick them in a double deep configuration. Keep them and feed them 2 to 3 weeks. And those bees should have this top box wax made foundation, comb, and have it laid and brewed in 2 to 3 weeks easily. And then you just find the queen, take out the 3 to 4 frames of brood and your honey pollen frame that you're selling to your customer, and then you keep the rest. You can either add a purchase queen, or there should be eggs in there. You should better make your own queen that way, and that way you're also introducing different bloodlines. All right. Another that's the funnest way to get into selling bees slowly, because I want you guys to do this slowly. I don't want somebody emailing me or calling me in June saying, well, man, I went out and spent $5,000 buying beehives, buying equipment, building equipment, and my bees died, or stuff happens. So I want you guys to get in it, start out slow. There's no need in getting in a hurry. It takes time to build up your customer and client list, and just start slow. Do quality instead of quantity. That's where most beekeepers get into trouble. They try to do too much, and with beekeeping, once something starts going bad, if you don't fix it quickly, it's like a landslide. It's just going to keep going, and I speak from experience. Yeah, just start slowly. You can buy, like I said, when I first started, I was selling Don's bees. I was doing packages, and I started buying nucs from a guy. I'll give you a perfect example. There's a gentleman here, I'm not going to say any names. He was selling his nucs for $100, and super nice guy, great beekeeper, awesome beekeeper. And I told him, I said, man, your prices are too low. We're selling our bees for $170, and we've got a waiting list. So he said, no, he was happy making $100 a nuc. So I ended up buying about 30 nucs from him before he realized that his prices were too cheap. I was reselling them at $170, so I was making $40 and not really doing anything other than maybe feeding them, and then I would split them. I was getting free bees, so to speak. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it. Beekeeping is not that hard. It's just a method. Once you master the method, you kind of get it under control, and you can grow with it. All right, when it comes time to make your nucs, don't get so bent up and caught up in trying to make queens. There's nothing wrong with buying queens. I buy queens every year. For one, I bring new bloodlines into my apiary. I don't want the same bees every year, because you end up getting aggressive bees. They get, the inbreeding causes aggressiveness, poor production. So I like to sell bees, and I like to make honey. So yeah, you got to keep your bloodlines fresh. It's always good to bring in different queens. Like I said, and it's a lot quicker than making queens. I mean, if you're trying to make 20, 30 nucs a week, you're going to want to get into learning how to rear your own queens. But if you're just doing 1 to 5 here, there, everywhere, I would just buy queens. That way you make your splits. Within 7 days, they're laying. Within 2 weeks of that, you should have a nucs ready to go. So it's very quick, very quick. And this, you can use this information for not just selling bees. You can use it to increase your honey production. I'm going to do another video on it. I'm just going to touch on it briefly. Michael Palmer put it best. He uses his nucs as brood factories. I found this out before I saw his video and started reading into some of Michael Palmer's information. I had a honey hive that I was making splits, and the hive right beside of it, for some reason I either run out of queen cells or run out of queens or whatever, but I had 2 or 3 frames of brood just there. So I didn't remember where I got it from, so I just took, there was a 8 frame hive there that had it was a double deep hive. It had a 2 frame feeder in it. I took that frame out, and then another, I think there was a foundation frame in there. I took those 3 frames out, put those brood in there, and that box made so much honey that year, it was ridiculous. Every 4 to 6 days I was having to go in there and add a new box with fresh foundation. They were drawing it out, capping it and everything, and right at 7 days. So we call them Brew Bombs. If you have a hive you come out of winter with and it's a little bit weak, you can stick 1 or 2 frames of brood in there and that thing will take off. Literally just explode. One thing I like to mention is when you make your splits, you're going to want to make them, depending on what time of the year it is, some parts of the season you're going to make them strong. Those people that say they make 1 or 2 frame splits, there's only a short period of time they do that with success. And a lot of times they don't tell you they're going back in there 2 to 3, 4 weeks later and adding brood to it just to help get it going. But there's certain times of year you can do that and do very good at it. I prefer not to do that. I try to make it minimum 2 to 3 frame splits. That way they got bees in there that can help do the work. Is it just one frame of bees? That's just slow getting started. I mean, it just takes a while for what I want to do. And sometimes I have issues with robbing around my yard. So last year was really bad. I had weeks where I'd make splits, and within 10 days they were all, 70% of them were gone because they was just getting robbed out so bad. So this year I'm moving my bees around a lot. I don't keep as many bees here at my house anymore. I have 3 different locations now. I got one that's on the other side of the county, I got one that's in another part of the state, and one that's actually out of state. And then we're just trying to rotate stuff around. That way, just if I have a major catastrophe at one place, it's not going to hurt me really bad. So yeah, when you make splits, just make them strong. You can never go wrong making a strong split, other than you have to split them again or sell them quicker. So that's not a bad thing. And you can always add boxes, put them into an 8 frame hive. That way they'll make some honey for you. But yeah, I would recommend trying to do both. I mean, I know some people say there's no money in honey, but I have not found that to be true. I mean, I make decent little lick off of selling honey, so sometimes it's not worth the hassle if you don't do enough of it. That's the downfall. And then some years you won't get much. Last year I didn't get a whole lot of honey, but last year I was splitting my hives pretty heavy. So I didn't get but just a little bit of honey last year. But I'm gonna try to tell it to you like it is. I've had a lot of issues, and the learning curve can be very steep. That's why I recommend going slow. When I started, I listened to some people and I jumped head into it. Just dove right in, bought enough equipment to build, I think I had 70 hives right from the beginning. But I had been keeping bees, so I knew how to keep bees. I just didn't know how to manipulate them to where you could, make splits, make queens and all that good stuff. But just start slow and practice quality, not quantity. Because your quality is what's going to define you 3 years down the road. 2 to 3 years down the road, your quality. That's what people are going to remember. They're not going to remember that you tried making 100 nucs last month. They want to know that one they bought from you was a really good one, and it did great. All right, everyone, that's going to about wrap up this video. If you find this information helpful, please like and subscribe and click the little bell notification. I'm going to start doing try to do 1 to 2 videos a week. We've been getting a lot of rain, and we're forecasted to have rain for the next 6 days. Today's turned out to be pretty, so I come out here and did a video. I'd really actually done the video Saturday. Somehow or another my clumsy fingers deleted the footage, so I had to come back and redo it again. So I hope I got everything that I originally wanted to get in there. I kind of threw my notes away. If you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below, and if you have a great enough question, we'll make a video out of it. Let us know what you want to see, and we can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day.